now for the youngest kids, but it's still not available for older kids. Is that right?
Yes. So as parents may know, Pfizer has been available for some time now for the 5 to 11-year-olds and also the 11 to 17-year-olds. But for those two age groups, Moderna had not been available. And the reason is because the FDA wanted some more time to look at data around heart inflammation, because like the pediatric dose under 5, the Moderna gives a relatively higher dose at all age groups. But they looked over the data at the same time they're looking at the under 5 data, and they found, at least in the trials, no additional risk of heart inflammation in those kids age 5 to 17 years old.
All right. So with this age group, would you give the same advice that I remember you giving to adults when people ask, oh, which one should I get? Which one is marginally better? I remember you saying it's the one that you can get. Is the advice same here?
Yes, it's the same. They're both mRNA vaccines. They're pretty much the same. And I know we like to compare and contrast, but they're probably going to give your body the same signal overall. I would say the biggest difference is really in the under 5 age group, where you'd have 2 shots versus 3. But most people think at some point those under 5-year-olds would also need a booster.
Okay. Look, unlike with previous vaccine rollouts, these are being distributed a little differently for the kids. It seems like counties are generally not doing mass vaccination clinics. So what are the places, the ways for parents to get them for their kids?
So the places include drugstores, which might have it first, but you're not going to find drugstores doing all of the age group under 5 at the same time. Some may sequence it with sometimes the older kids first versus the younger kids within that 6 months to 5-year age group. You'll have pediatric offices, which are probably the most convenient places for parents to take their kids, because you can catch up on other shots or other visits in preparation for the school year to come. I think that's been popular. You can get it at hospital systems. Like one of the first vaccines for the under 5 age group was given in Ohio at a hospital system. You can get it through the county as well. Diaper banks and children's museums are also planned.
Children's museums. All right. I think you just answered my question, because I was wondering why, when I looked at the Walgreens website, they said they're giving that shot right now to kids 3 and up, and CVS was saying 18 months and up. And I am like, I thought 6 and up you can get it. So are they spacing them out so that they have the personnel to handle the shots?
Yes, I think it's the personnel, and I'm not exactly sure why, because it's the same dose. Whether or not they wanted to use a different procedure in different drugstores. Okay. But you'd find in pediatric offices and health systems, once they're available, they should be available for every kid over the age of 6.
Okay. Folks, if you have a question for Dr. Peter Chin Hong about the vaccine for the youngest kids under 5, please go ahead and put it on Facebook Live if you want. Okay, I also want to ask you, many parents are a bit vaccine hesitant, even if they got the shots for themselves. What are some of the typical or common worries that you've heard and things that you want them to know about the vaccine?
Well, I think probably the most common sort of statement that many parents give is that my kid already had COVID breakthrough and they did okay. Why should they get a vaccine again? And it's the same argument for adults, is that it's not whether or not you had COVID or not, or given one shot, it's the amount of times your immune system gets reminded for insurance for the future. That's the second argument itself, the future. Right now we're thinking about Omicron flavors, but we all know that we can't predict what will happen with COVID. And the last thing I'd want to have happen is COVID evolves into something that's more dangerous for kids in the fall or winter. But it's amazing that we have this technology now. Number 3, I think that, kids do get sick themselves. When you look at hospitalizations during Omicron, I was really surprised to see that more kids under 5 were hospitalized during Omicron than the older kids. And that's because they were not immunized or weren't eligible to immunize. But also kids' airways are very small. And because Omicron makes so much mucus, you can imagine that it doesn't take very much for that airway to be compromised. And then at the end of the day, parents want to have confidence. I know so many parents who defer their trips abroad or across the country because of the plane and being worried about the plane. And I think that that gives parents a lot more confidence with sleepovers and all of that.
All right. Lastly, we only have about a minute, but I want to address if our numbers are starting to come down in terms of cases here in the Bay Area and whether you think we might be headed into a quieter summer from this point on.
Yeah, so cases, knock on wood, I have a wooden desk here, seem to be cresting, going down a little bit. I think there's some debate about how fast it will go down because, you know, we're all moving around now. But my hope is that July and August will be pretty decent. I know people are saying, well, COVID doesn't take a vacation, but I'm crossing fingers that it does take a vacation for July and August, at least goes down to a substantial amount. In the hospitals, we're still doing pretty well and have done pretty well all the way through. So I'm hoping that also continues in the fall and winter.
All right. Speaking of vacation, I'm not sure if that's why you're wearing that Hawaiian shirt, headed out or something, but
state of mind, you know, hot days, San Francisco, got to celebrate.
I think we all need that zen, relaxing state of mind. Thank you so much, Dr. Peter Chin Hong. Always great talking with you. Thanks.
Same here. Bye, Kristen.
All right, we'll be right back with one of the authors of a new study on YouTube's content for kids. If you're a parent, you have to catch this. We'll be right back. All right, folks, really great questions. By the way, Christopher, I just want to thank you for that information about CVS with the clinics for kids being available at the CVS Minute Clinics for kids below 5. We'll definitely share that. We'll take a short break and be right back.
Back in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. We do want to tell you about some breaking news out of San Mateo County, just getting some latest information about that. Sky 7 is right now flying over a fire close to Edgewood Park. That's in unincorporated Redwood City. You can see the flames there right now. Really dry hills, dry brush and trees there at Edgewood Park. So this is right on the edge. This fire started just before 2:30 this afternoon. You can see definitely a lot of smoke rising as the fire burns. It is not too big yet. We're trying to get the exact acreage there for you, but there are definitely homes in that area, in those hills. We have not heard of any evacuations being ordered, although we do see firefighters tweeting to please stay away from the area if you can, as there'll be a lot of fire vehicles coming back and forth. We'll continue to follow this story for you. Meantime, a new study finds YouTube is falling short when it comes to telling stories that reflect our world, our neighbors, our cultures. Researchers from Common Sense Media partnered with the University of Michigan and looked at race and representation in YouTube videos viewed by children. Joining us to talk about that is Deja Rollins, one of the report's co-authors. Deja, thank you so much for your time. Look, what inspired you to do this story, or the study, that is?
Well, one of the biggest inspirations, I mean, if we're being honest, was this influx in the consumption of YouTube over the past, I would say, half a decade, especially since the pandemic, right? So we know during that time, children weren't in schools and they were in homes spending a lot of time on their laptops, their phones, their computers. And so just a major influx in the consumption of YouTube away from this traditional media that we see typically watching, television and TV shows and film.
Yeah. So if that's where they're spending all their time and being influenced, it's important that that content, reflects the diversity of our society. But what did you find in terms of what is actually in those videos?
Well, we really found that YouTube is missing the mark, as you previously stated. So with YouTube being a platform that has user-generated content, we found that videos that were viewed by children do not reflect the ethnic and diversity of children, preteens, and teens across the U.S. Teens were consuming videos that were heavily depicted with racial accents, the use of the N-word, jokes, racial themes. So in about 1 in 10 videos that we watched, because we looked at 1,242 videos across 240 children. So we looked at their viewing histories and found that children were just seeing a lot of the same depictions and stereotypes that you see in traditional media. And BIPOC characters, so Black and Indigenous, people of color characters that were on YouTube were not being heard. Their voices were not being leveraged. And so again, YouTube was really missing the mark to push this information out for children. So when they're on these platforms, they can see positive, empowering depictions of themselves.
And when underrepresented minorities were shown in these videos, how were they depicted?
Well, again, so they're stereotypical depictions. So you have a lot of the stereotypes that you see in traditional television and film. So the Black, lazy, violent, aggressive, the sexy, hypersexualized Latina, the mysterious indigenous characters from native cultures. A lot of stereotypes from Asian cultures were depicted, or if they were depicted at all, right? If they weren't just a background character with no speaking roles.
Right. Okay, I'm asking this question fully aware that I probably never heard of them because I'm so unhip and my kids will tell me that. But who are these main content creators that, were main drivers of what the kids watched?
Well, there were just a lot of content creators, right? There wasn't any specific main, if I'm being honest, content creators, because so many people are on YouTube. I can get on, you can get on, my child can get on and create content. But when the content is being created, there isn't this editorial process that takes place, right? I can create a video and upload it. And if it's popular, it can receive millions of views and shares and likes. And if it's stereotypical, it typically gets
So then I'm going to ask you, Deja, is the answer then we just need to encourage somehow more underrepresented minorities to become content creators, and YouTube is kind of blameless in that they're just a platform? Or do you think there's something that YouTube as a platform needs to do?
I believe that there's something that YouTube as a platform can do, right? I believe it should be a lot easier to flag inappropriate, racially insensitive content on their platform. They do have a Black Voices Fund. And when I say they, I'm speaking of YouTube. And so they're putting money into BIPOC creators to support, the content that they create and push out. But I do believe that YouTube can do something with the algorithm, because we also saw that videos that didn't depict stereotypes had far more views than the videos that did not depict stereotypes.
Oh, more views, as in they're actually popular? Like kids actually want to see those?
Absolutely. Children want to see positive and empowering depictions of themselves always. And so YouTube can see that, and that there's something that they can do to kind of leverage that. They can push those videos out and decrease the spread of some of the videos and contents that are racially insensitive and inappropriate, quite frankly.
So Deja, what would you recommend parents do?
Parents, I do recommend parents to sit down with your children, right? I have 2 children myself. So we sit down and we watch videos together, whether we're watching traditional television and film or when we're watching YouTube. I sit down with my daughter and I look at the content that she she's consuming, and have conversations with her about the characters. If there is something that's inappropriate, discuss that with her so she understands that this depiction is not a depiction of all people of our racial group, right? Look at what channels they're subscribed to so you can see the themes that your children are consuming on a regular basis. So having conversations about the content they're consuming and being active in their media consumption in general to help with overall media literacy.
Great advice, Deja Rollins. Thank you so very much for talking with us today.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with a member and the executive director of a chorus here in the Bay Area. They're heading to a big European performance. You've got to hear them.
In commercial break.
All right, folks, we'll take a short break and be right back. Okay, great. Ragazzi.
Ian, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Back in 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
After more than 2 years of practicing and waiting, 87 incredible young singers from the Bay Area are about to travel to Europe for a tour that includes a collaboration with the world-famous Vienna Boys Chorus. Now, if you haven't heard the Ragazzi Boys Chorus, you are in for a treat. This was a performance they held in March at Santa Clara University. Crystal clear and beautiful through those masks. That is amazing. Joining us live now, artistic and executive director of the chorus, Kent Jew, and a member of the chorus, Ian Bass. Hello, hello.
Hello. Hi there.
All right. Hey, I just have to say this off the top. Ian, we heard it's a special day for you.
Yes, it is my birthday.
Happy birthday, age 14. That's awesome. What a birthday present to be able to leave on Thursday and go on this tour with Kent and all your friends. Look, long delayed, right? I mean, you've been planning all through the pandemic, Kent?
Oh yeah, we've been planning. Actually, this is the second year that we tried to get this tour off and running, and we're just so thrilled that we're finally off and departing on Thursday.
Yay! All right, hopefully no delays. You know the airlines these days. But Kent, full disclosure, we have known each other a while. My child was lucky to have had you as music teacher. By the way, she's still singing. She's still playing the guitar. I'm going to ask you, and I think she could answer this too, but I'm going to ask you, Kent, why is music so important in a child's life?
Well, I just love being able to explore the emotional integrity of art through singing and share that love of music and joy with kids.
And one of them is Ian. Ian, you tell me, the Ragazzi Boys Chorus, I know it's been around for 30 years. How many singers are there? How do you guys practice?
Well, there's multiple levels of groups in ragazzi. So as you gain more experience and you're in ragazzi for longer, I've been in ragazzi for 7 years, you move up through the groups. And I'm currently in the highest treble group. Um, and there are 87 boys going to Europe for this tour. And we have practices, rehearsals twice a week for 2 hours. And we just practice our songs and work hard to create the most beautiful music that we can.
And you are going to be singing some of that beautiful music at some of the most iconic places, right? This tour, I think you'll be hitting Austria and Italy. Kent, you want to tell us about where you're going to be and who you're going to be singing with?
Sure. So we have performances and services that we're going to be singing in at St. Stephen's, for example, which is in the center of Venice, and of course the iconic Church St. Mark's in Venice.
Wow.
The first one was in Vienna, and we are just so excited to have this collaboration with the Vienna Boys Chorus, which is one of the best choruses in the world, and we've of course had this on the calendar now for 2 years, and we're excited to finally meet them and sing with them.
I think they're pretty excited to be singing with the world famous Ragazzi Boys too. Were you able to rehearse together, like via Zoom or something, Ian? Did you guys do any of that?
Yeah, so during COVID, one of the Ragazzi board members actually helped develop the Ragazzi Virtual Studio technology that actually removed most of the lag time caused by Zoom and internet and things like that, and actually let us practice quite well together in real time during COVID, which was spectacular to be able to continue doing that.
All right, well, I hate to put you on the spot. No, actually, I love it. Will you sing a little something for us right now? Maybe like 30 seconds from something you practiced that you're going to do on the tour? Ken's laughing. You got this. You got this.
Okay.
How about Will the Circle Be Unbroken?
Okay. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a better home awaiting if we try, Lord, if we try.
Great job, Ian.
It's so great. And Ian, if it sounds that good coming across like a laptop microphone, I'm sure, you know, in person, it's going to be amazing in Europe. Where can people see this? Is it going to be live streamed if they can't join you in Europe? And also, where else can people see your chorus, your boys perform this summer?
Sure. Take a look at our YouTube page, and you can find more information at ragazzi.org. Our performances at this point are not going to be live streamed from Europe, but we will be taking lots of video, and we will be sure and post our favorite clips on our favorite social media sites.
Excellent. And Kim, will you be doing auditions? I know your season will start up again, right, in the fall, is it?
Yeah, we have a summer camp that we're offering our very beginning musicians who want to try out a half-day, a week-long camp here at our site in Redwood City. And then we offer a free mini day camp, half-day on Saturday, where boys can test drive the Ragazzi experience just before we start up our semester in September.
Fantastic. Now, I normally don't endorse all our guests, but if you get the chance to sing with Kenju, just do it. All right. Congratulations. Have a great tour, you guys. Happy birthday, Ian.
Great to see you, Kristen. Thanks.
All right. Take good care. We'll be right back. Actually, don't go away. Oh, no, I do have to let you go because we have breaking news. FYI, it's not too far from Redwood City. It's in the hills, though. There's a fire near Edgewood Park, so do be careful. Good luck on the tour, okay? Have a great time in Europe.
Kristen, great to see you.
Great to see you. Bye, Ian.
Happy birthday, Ian.
Yep.
All right, folks, thanks for watching. Boy, they're fantastic, right? Ragazzi Boys Chorus, fantastic. All right, we're still following breaking news for you. So I'm going to talk with my producer, but here's a video of it live from Sky 7. Breaking news out of San Mateo County that we're following. Sky 7 is over this fire burning close to Edgewood Park. That's in unincorporated Redwood City. You can see the flames there as well as smoke rising. This fire started just before 2:30 this afternoon. It is still putting out a lot of smoke. If you're familiar with that area, it is very hilly. Edgewood Park, where people recreate, their hiking trails are there, and it's right off of 280 there. So you can see that there is an area that's charred. Last time we checked, it was at about 5 acres, so it's not that big just yet. We have not heard of any confirmed evacuation orders, although there's some indication that on Woodside Road, that area east of Cañada Road to Emerald Hills, that is, there may be evacuation warnings going on right now. So we'll try to get the most of this information-wise and bring that to you on ABC7 News at 4. Meantime, thank you so much for joining us today on this interactive show, Getting Answers. We'll be here every weekday at 3 on air and on live stream answering your questions. World News Tonight with David Muir is coming up next. Have a great day.